I just watched the trailer for Avatar, Fire and Ash, and it hit me. Outside of theaters, watching 3D movies at home has never been great, and now it's nearly impossible to do, so let's fix that. If you're in the market for a new television, you may have noticed that 3D isn't even a feature on newer sets. And I get it, at-home 3D has always felt like a watered-down version of the theater experience. Sure, you can go big with a projector, but even then, the fidelity was never there. That was until Meta started selling wireless VR headsets. Finally, a way to watch 3D the way it was meant to be seen. Just one problem. It's basically impossible to rent or buy 3D movies for that ecosystem, which sucks, not just for viewers, but for film preservation. What happens to these films 10, 20 years from now? And before anyone says most 3D movies sucked, remember, Gravity and Life of Pi are Oscar-winning masterpieces that use 3D to create something unforgettable. So, I'm taking matters into my own hands. Today we're tackling the ultimate VR movie lover challenge: how to take your own 3D Blu-rays and turn them into actual theater quality 3D movies you can watch inside your Meta Quest 3. Before we start, here's everything you'll need. 1. A Blu-ray drive that can actually rip 3D discs. Obviously, that's easier said than done, because finding a drive that can handle this right now is really tough. You're gonna have to do your own research, but to give you a head start, this is a drive I'm currently using and it works perfectly. 2. A Windows PC. Obviously, you can do this on a Mac, but everything I'm showing today is Windows-based. 3. A licensed copy of MakeMKV. 4. The Java Runtime Environment. 5. AviSynth to handle the stereo video processing we'll be doing later in the process chain. 6. A copy of BD3D to MK3D. BD3D to MK3D is a conversion tool that outputs Quest-ready 3D video. 7, and probably the most important piece, is FFmpeg, since BD3D to MK3D and AviSynth both rely on FFmpeg behind the scenes. Now, all of the apps mentioned above install normally, but FFmpeg normally trips people up. So follow these steps. First, let's move your FFmpeg folder somewhere permanent. I like it in the C drive. Now let's add FFmpeg to Windows Path by hitting Start and typing System Properties Advanced. Run it as admin, and then jump into Environmental Variables. Click Environment Variables. Under System Variables, find Path, click Edit, click New, paste the line on screen, then hit OK, OK, OK. FFmpeg is now installed globally. You're welcome. Now, on the VR side, you'll need SideQuest, which lets you easily move files between your PC and headset, and 4X VR Player. This is what will actually play your 3D movies in the headset. Obviously, there are other 3D player apps in the Meta Quest ecosystem, but I found that 4X VR, while pricey, is absolutely worth it. And if you're still on the fence, there is a demo version you can download and decide if it's worth your hard-earned cash. In my opinion, it's the best player in the market in this ecosystem. Now, I'm going to assume from this point forward that you have downloaded all the software that I've listed out and just walk you through the process. First up, launch MakeMKV and pop in your 3D Blu-ray. It's going to take a minute to analyze your disc, but once that's done, click the big Blu-ray icon that pops up. This will load all the playlists on the disc. Now look on the left, you'll see a bunch of titles with runtimes. You want the biggest one, usually between 20 and 40 gigabytes. That's the main movie. Expand that title and check only the main video and the audio tracks you actually want, usually English DTS HD or True HD. I usually leave every language selected because I'm lazy. Now, before moving on, please make sure you check attachment image. This is extremely important. It's what gives you a thumbnail later on. Next, set your output folder on the right, then hit the green MakeMKV button. When it's done, you'll have one big MKV file. This is your untouched 3D movie rip. Now we're going to take that MKV and make it Quest ready. Open BD3D to MK3D and switch to 3D movie mode, and then select Open 3D MKV. Point it to the file we just created. In my case, that's on my D drive under Video/Prometheus. You will see a few files, but you only want the largest one. Once it loads, it'll scan the file, and we can now turn our attention to the other tabs across the top. On tab 2, you'll see all the video, audio, and subtitle streams that were ripped. I usually keep all of them because, again, I'm pretty goddamn lazy. You can skip the rest unless you want to fine-tune which tracks or subtitles you include. Next, go to tab 3. Here's where you can give your movie a proper title. I like to fill in everything from director, producer, written by, composer, and director of photography. You can grab all of this information from Wikipedia. Once you fill that in, go to tab 4. Select From MKV. That'll pull the thumbnail straight from the file. You'll get both a large and small image automatically. If you don't like them, you can replace it with something more to your liking. Now head on to tab 5. I'm not going to go deep here, but I'll tell you what I use because I like the highest quality. Uncheck half. We want full SBS. It'll warn you, but just hit OK. Leave AviSynth enabled. Hardcode subtitles only if you need them, and then set your project temp folder and output folder. For me, my temp folder is on the D drive under MakeMKV, and I output to the D drive into my 3D movies folder. Once everything's set, hit do it. This part takes a while, so go grab a coffee, but when it's done, you'll have a clean VR-ready 3D MKV file. Now, for most people, this should be the last step, but recently I updated Windows 11, and the encode no longer just happens automatically. For those that encounter this issue, the easiest solve is just opening up the Scratch folder and manually running _encode_3D command. This will take some time, but when it is done, you will have a side-by-side 3D movie in the directory we originally specified in BD3D. Now we need to get that file onto your Quest. If you've never used SideQuest, here's how to set it up. 1. Go to sidequestvr.com and download the desktop app for Windows. 2. On your Quest headset, go to Settings, System, Developer, and turn on Developer Mode. This is extremely important. If you don't see that option, register a free developer account on Meta's site. It takes about a minute, but it's totally worth it. 3. Plug your Quest into your PC with a USB-C cable. Inside the headset, you'll see a pop-up. Now your headset and SideQuest are linked. From here, just drag and drop your finished 3D MKV into your Quest's Movies folder using the Manage Files button inside SideQuest. Once the file is on your headset, open 4X VR Player and load the file. Set the playback mode to match your export, which for me is full SBS, and boom! And just like that, you are now watching your very own 3D Blu-ray in actual 3D inside your Quest headset. No DRM issues, just pure cinema. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, you can turn your dusty 3D Blu-ray collection into a personal IMAX experience inside your Quest. Love it, hate it, let me know all about it in the comment section below. But more importantly, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and bell so you're notified when I drop a new episode. Catch you guys next time.